Lekker, thanks, man. Lekker, thanks.
Right. Awesome, guys. We're recording now. So please raise your hands for questions. I've explained it already. First 12 minutes English, then literally 3 comments or 2 comments max in Xhosa. And then we're going to switch off the link and I'll send you the link later. Thank you so much. Hands up for questions. Morgan?
Thanks, Z. How's it here? How's it, Stocker? I hope you guys are doing well. Siya, there's a lot has been spoken about the magnitude of this test this weekend. It's Argentina again, and it's always a thrilling encounter. But this one's got quite big significance where history is in the cards. You guys are going for back-to-back rugby championship titles. How much of a motivating factor is this for you guys?
Yeah, of course, it's a big thing, but we still got to play the test match. I think that's where our focus is. We know
no fucking sound. Where's the fucking sound?
Jeez, yo.
The answers here, it's cool. Let's fix that go.
Yeah, as we know, last week was tough. We only were able to pull through on the 60th minute. So yeah, our focus is just making sure that we stay focused in the moment and exactly what's in front of us. Yeah, we can't control the result, so we're just gonna make sure that we play as hard as we can, and the magnitude of the game doesn't change the way we play, doesn't change the way we approach the game. We know exactly what we want to do, so we're just looking forward to the battle, and what comes after, we'll see after that.
Anami?
Thanks, Zina. Morgan actually touched on exactly what I wanted to ask, but I'm still going to ask it anyway. I mean, we know it's a big moment. I just wanted to ask, how big it would be if you look back on your career one day to say that you've won this, back to back with Coach Rassie. You've done everything else there is to win. How big would that be for you, both of you?
I think from my side, personally, like Siya said, the main focus for us now is to make sure that we focus on Argentina and make sure we go for good performance. I'm talking about 80 minutes, and what happened also last week, I think it's all in the past at the moment. There are a couple of things that we have to learn from last week, because if you remember again, halftime score against Argentina last week, we were leading probably by 1 or 2 points, and so they are a good side, but regarding the breaking the records, and then we'll probably focus on that. Hopefully after the game, if we win, then we can celebrate those records. But once again, I think the key thing for us is to make sure that we keep on improving. That was our main goal for the season. We started slow, and you could see now.
You had mute on. So,
Julian.
So what do I do now? Mute it again?
Julian, mute. I say, thanks, boss. You see, so Mrs. Bester, and so that's the thing. Yeah, I think for us is as long as we keep improving, we still got a tough end of the tour, So yes, it's nice to break records. It's nice to have silverware. It's nice to win competitions. But I think the key thing for this week for us is to make sure that we get a good performance tomorrow against Argentina. So yeah.
Yeah, I think we're playing, of course, like for the guys, there's a couple of guys that are playing that haven't been able to win a rugby championship, so that's also in the back of our mind. So there's a lot of things that we were excited about, but like putting on the Springbok jersey, and we just want to make sure that we honor that in every single way that we do. And to think about all these records now is not the time. I think we just want to focus on the performance, but I think. Yeah, we'll take time to think when the job is done, but I can't be thinking that far yet. But it's obviously something that we think about as a group. But the more important thing is to make sure we do the job tomorrow.
Okay.
Thanks, Sina. Hi, Siya. Hi, Mzwandile. For you, Coach, you mentioned an 80-minute performance. How do you go about getting that out of the players? What have you been doing this week?
Ken, we understand how we want to play the game. We understand our pressure points when we want to put Argentina under pressure, And even if you look last week, the first half we had against them in in Durban, it was a lot of turning points that were happening in the first half, where we score, they score straight after, and then also few things disciplinary-wise when it comes to allowing them to stay in the game. The penalties that we gave them in the first half last thing, it was a soft penalties, talking about offside, so we want to clean up those things and make sure that we control them, and once again, like I always say, is that if you look at how Argentina have been going throughout the season, they've lost against the All Blacks. A week later on, they came back as a better team. They beat the All Blacks. Same thing against Australia. So if we don't learn from those games, if we don't learn from the other teams, I think we'll be mistaken also, not to, and stupid not to learn from those situations. So the key thing for us is to make sure that we pitch up mentally in the good space. And I think the key thing, I know Argentina, that they'll be desperate, and they've got a lot of pride on how they do things as a nation. So they're going to come back hard. They're tough side. They've got good players. If you see now how they selected their team, having guys like Delgi, Bautista at wing back in the team, Cruz Malia is still there. So those are all world-class players, So on a good day, if you don't switch on and you give them opportunities, they will punish you. They showed us last week, in that first half, it was pound to pound, So that's a key thing for us, is to make sure that the things that we want to achieve in the game, talking about set piece, we need a good foundation when it comes to how we want to attack. We need a strong, balanced kicking game, and if we keep improving there, I think we'll be in a better chance also to win the game. But I know it's going to be a tough and a different game for us.
Lloyd?
Afternoon, gentlemen. Trust you are both well. Siya, my question is for you. How much of an advantage is it that this game is in London and not at Santiago or Mendoza or somewhere? It's obviously the fond memories of Twickenham as well recently for you guys, 2023, and then also the fact that the crowd will be largely you would expect South African.
Well, it's only an advantage if we make use of it. I don't know if it will be, because I know Argentinians are all around the world, and it doesn't matter how many numbers they have, but you will definitely hear them the whole game. And we can't think too much of what happened last year. It's a whole new year now. We got to make sure that we create new good memories on Saturday. But we're looking forward to seeing South Africans. Hopefully they do come out in numbers. And we've been blessed wherever we've been all around the world. South African have come out and supported us. So I'm looking on, hopefully this weekend it will be the same, and for us as a team to do the job on the field.
Tim? Tim?
Did you say me, Zina?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, guys. My question is for Coach. Coach, you've mentioned some of the changes that they've made, but obviously there's one or two sort of less familiar faces in terms of the changes they've made, maybe to us. How well do you know, say, the two halfbacks and one of the Lucies in terms of what they bring?
Yeah, we went through their profiles, between 9 and 10 partnership. I think one of them has got 1 or 2 test matches, and then the other one has got 4 test matches. We went through their profiles, we've seen their game, and like most of the Argentinian players, majority of them, their background, they come from the sevens background, almost probably the whole backline. They've got a sevens background, so we know their profiles very well. We know what is their strengths. We know their weaknesses, where we can probably also target them. But once again, like I said to you, is that those guys, they're very, very, very good players. If we're not at our best on a day, chances it will be a tough day at the office for us also. So the key thing for us is to make sure that we implement the things that we want to do in the game properly, and make sure that we pitch up properly mentally in a good space. It's going to be a grinder. It's going to be a tough one. They still got experienced players around them. If you look at the Cruz Malias are still there. Choco Barres, the way he's been playing, probably one of the best inside centers currently, the way he's playing. And yeah, you look at their forwards, there's a bit of continuity also in their selection there. So it's going to be a tough one. But once again, yes, the 9 and the 10 combination, I think it's opportunity for them. You saw also with our players when they got opportunities, the likes of Sasha. they've also grabbed them. So we also expect the same thing. They'll also be keen and hungry to perform in this game.
Ken?
Thank you.
Thanks, Sina. Mzwandile, for you again. Given that what happened last week, do you expect Argentina to play differently maybe this week? And are you expecting some sort of response to? I mean, obviously they don't want Sasha to run riot again. But if they target him, does that maybe provide you with opportunities elsewhere?
Yeah, Ken, you know what? I can't really think much about how they're going to approach the game. But one thing that I know for sure, mentally and emotionally, they're going to pitch up. You know, Argentinians, like I said earlier on, it's a nation with a lot of pride how they do things. And they probably going to have supporters also. It's a home game. You know, they're going to have supporters here at Twickenham. And unfortunately, I can't tell how they're going to approach the game, talking about rugby-wise, you know, but I know mentally and physically, those guys will pitch up tomorrow, and you know how they put their emotions and pride in how they do things. But regarding the rugby game, you know, we know it's a team where you as an opposition, if you don't pitch up, we've seen it. Do you understand? Against British and Irish Lions, these guys, they've beat them. Against New Zealand, if you're not at your best on the day, they've got world-class players that can punish you. And that's one thing. If you also, we as a Springboks, we're gonna be too loose in the game. You know, that is where these guys they can live. You know, they like to live off the scraps. They like to live off the loose moments. You know, where what happened to us last year in Santiago del Estero, where a passage of 20 minutes, you know, where we're just not at our best, and they've capitalized and punished us in that 20 minutes, and we lost the game. You know, so that's a nature of the Argentinian team. You know, on a good day, they can punish you.
Julia? Julia? Okay, Lloyd?
Coach Stocker, my questions for you this time. It is effectively a final, and I'm just wondering, you know, having a guy like Bongi and Bonambi back in the group, who's been there before in situations like this. Last weekend was a bit makeshift potentially at hooker, and now you've got the kind of two old veterans reunited. How big is it having a guy like Bongi back in the squad in a week like this?
Yeah, Lloyd, it's very big, especially also if you look now, we've got also Oaks who missed out on last week, and then he's back in the team now. And then having Bongi, you know, and last week, Marco van Staden as a cover for the hooker, you know, now you're getting Bongi, who's world-class hooker, one of the best. And Jesse Krill also on the bench, you know, with his experience, you know, and his leadership skills. Grant Williams also coming back from the injury. I think those guys will surely add the value in the team and bring some good energy. That's one thing that I enjoy about those guys, you know, the energy they bring. It's very, very nice, and what we need for this week. And on the other side, I think one thing we've been fortunate with was since Eden Park against the All Blacks, when we lost that game, you know, talk about now, after losing that game, probably for us to stay in the competition, we had to make sure that we win all the games. So our mindset since then, it's been in the, how can I put it, more like in that World Cup mindset of playoffs, you know. So we had to make sure in Wellington we perform well. We had to make sure that we win to give ourselves a chance to win the competition. And it was the same thing also last week in Durban. If we didn't get the good results, New Zealand or Australia, they had a potential to pull away from us, you know. But we've managed to stay in the fight and be able to get the results. I'm not done yet. Yeah, so our mindset for the past probably 2-3 weeks, I think it's been in a playoff mindset, and I think probably that's something that probably can help us also tomorrow. Like I said, again, there's for sure there's going to be a big change from Argentina. There's going to be a new energy because they've got new players that also want to prove the coach that they've got what it takes to be in the match 23. So it's going to be a tough challenge for us, but yeah, we'll do everything in our powers to make sure also that we keep making our people back at home proud. And the nice thing now, the kickoff for them, it will be 3 o'clock. So they should be able to enjoy the game if things go well with the cold one. Unlike the previous games against New Zealand where it was 9 o'clock, they can only enjoy with the coffee.
All right, guys. Is there any some questions?
Yeah, I've got
Other-
one, Zina.
Julian, you've been swearing and everything. Okay, but go.
It's not Julian, it's Nicholas.
Oh. He's the
No, I was
Hello?
saying
Can you?
I'll have. But Julian can go if he can hear anyway.
Yeah. Just a quick one for Siya. What's impressed you about the Argentinian team in your games against them?
I think it's the fight. It's a it's a fight, and also the compared to the years before, the discipline that they have and how consistent they are in the way they play, and they haven't taken away the Argentinian flair at any moment of the game. When it's broken, they take the opportunities, and I watched them against New Zealand and against Australia, where they can turn from their own goal line, the way they can attack you and go score down the post. So you always have to be alert at all times, but the professionalism as well of them, the way that they didn't take the break where they normally take the break. They came straight to South Africa and played, because a lot of the players play overseas and they enjoy going back home and seeing their families and being at home because they really love being in their country. Yeah, so that's really been a big part of it. And also, like on the field as well, you can just see how connected and how united they are as a team in everything that happens, every facet of the play. If there's a scuffle, they're there together as a group. So yeah, that's been very impressive of them.
Thank
Right,
you.
one comment each in Kosa. Sim, did you have one?
Yep. Manene, kwezi matches zintathu zokugqibela phansi nidlala iqela elinye. Into esingasayiqhelanga thina xa uthetha ngocoach Rasi yaqonda. So ndicela ubuza uba sifunde ntoni kuba nidlala iqela eliyi-one. Nibethwa kuba mhlawumbi ixesha le-tournament uba obviously knockout, okanye nifumene le team benifuna idlale ngale ndlela nidlala ngayo.
Sim, I think that besenditshilo ngiphathi bendithiyo ngesingesi earlier on. After i-match esayiluzayo e-Eden Park, for us ukuze sikwazi uhlala kwi-competition sibe ne-chance owina, we had to make sure uba si-approach i-games with the mindset of ingathi indebe yehlabathi ki-playoffs, yabona. So since then sasiqala be-Wellington, futhi hayi ngathi sihlala i-quarter final indlela esihlala ngayo pha, i-approach yethu. Last week at Durban uzukhumbula if bangabe sidrope one of the two games asaphumelela kuzo, yabona tata besizawunika i-opportunity iqela elifana ne-New Zealand or i-Australia to baphulishe away with the log points. So i-approach yethu phaya besikwindebe yehlabathi tata, so yeyona ndisincede leyo. So that's why ubona ke nakho when it comes to i-selection ye-teams sizama ukuthini i-continuity xa indlela eselecta ngayo, yabona, because of once again sithetha nge-youngsters abafana bane-energy, yabona. If iyajonga indlela abadlala ngayo ngoko uKenan Modi, yabona, yazi abantu bathetha ngoSasha, uGaza ufumene opportunity yakhe, and abantu abaninzi bayalibala uGaza is still 27, so usemtsha kancinci naye noko usene-energy. So yeyona ndisincedileyo kule veki suka kuyo uba sikwazi nokumixa kakuhle with the experienced players around, yabona. Yeyona ndisincedayo i-foundation yethu yasiyayifumana ke-forwards zethu kakuhle, enendlela abayicontrola ngayo. If uyajonga umfana njengosasha noCobus, you know, I think i-combination yabo baya-understandana indlela efuna udlala ngayo. So bekubalulekile ukuthi tata if angaba i-approach yethu it's World Cup playoffs, sikwazi to make sure uba sithi there's a continuity kwindlela esiselecta ngayo iqela.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. That brings the end of our online section. I'll send the recording later.